All right. All right. Welcome to Hit or Miss. I'm awful at doing the music. That's why I let Smeggy do it. I don't have a cool intro like Matt has, so no one's perfect, of course. Welcome all to Hit or Miss. I'm Night Strike, and I guess this is the birthday podcast. So we'll
Happy birthday.
no, not right now. Not right now. Maybe later.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So I got a whole bunch of interesting characters on my panel tonight. So let's introduce them. Psycho Camp, what's going on?
Dun, 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 dun. We can do music. It's easy.
I hadn't realized we had Lord Vader here with us.
Wow.
I am your daddy.
No, you're not. All right. So next up we have Ghost Tactical. Hey, Ghost, how's it going?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. Just had a really damn good show over on Tactical Tuesday. We talked. Gino was on there talking about first-hand stuff in Texas. So get a chance to go watch that. Go to my channel and watch it. It was really, really awesome to hear him give first-hand experience of what's going on down there.
Yeah. It sucks what's going on down there. All right. Shit. We have Matt here. I'm surprised Matt hasn't been drowned.
Oh, was that an introduction? That was a pretty shitty one.
Next up, we have Never Enough Ammo, otherwise known
Hey,
as
Matt, how's your house? Is it still there? Welcome.
Have you drowned yet, Matt?
No, we're all good down here. It went north of us, so we didn't. I barely got rain for like half a day, so it was. Yeah, we got really lucky.
Yeah.
So, but everybody go about 2 hours north of us from Corpus to Houston. It's just they got just beat the shit out of.
Awesome. Next up, we got Rick. What's going on, Rick? Haven't seen you in a while.
How's it going? This is Rick. Don't forget my show on Saturday afternoons. Rick's Life as You See It.
As you see it.
Rick's Life as I see it.
That's right. All right. And last but not least, we have Travis P11. What's going on, Travis?
Hey, man, not much. Guys, you can check me out over on gunchannels.com with the Caliber Corner. And also, anybody that's on this panel, a lot of us here have started up channels over on VidMe. We need to get as many followers as we can. It's kind of a preemptive strike to preserve our videos and our content that we've created. So anybody out there, if you don't have a VidMe account, go get one. And then please follow any of us that are on the panel that have channels.
Absolutely.
I actually got officially verified about an hour and a half ago. So yay me.
I'm waiting on my re-verification.
How long did it take, Ghost?
I submitted Sunday evening, and I got it about an hour ago. So yeah,
Okay, it was 2 hours.
Dude, I'm telling you, they've seen something because they have not verified me. It's been a week and a half, and they won't answer my emails.
Really?
Yeah, I guarantee they saw like a "go fuck yourself" video or something, and they're like, "Nah, fuck this guy," because it
Like I
asks
said,
you.
if you see,
It asks you what's your YouTube channel if you have a YouTube, because I guess they assume a lot of people are coming over from YouTube, and I put mine in there. So I bet you they saw some shit because they're out of fucking California.
Yeah. Well, last but certainly not least, we have Foos at the latecomer. What's going on, Foos?
Well, Matt, I think they didn't see a fuck you video. They just saw you, and like, well, yeah, he's too damn ugly.
Ow.
Now wait a minute. I mean, come on.
Foos, introduce yourself.
Night Strike's got a channel there. I mean,
Well, I mean,
Danny.
he doesn't show his face very often.
No, this is
So,
You know,
I mean,
I at least do the world a favor.
yeah, I mean, no one wants to see a blue dress. So,
On my birthday, seriously?
oh, I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy birthday,
it's his birthday. That's how he got the stain on the blue dress.
Ow.
Today, El Guapo is 37 years old. That's a joke from Three Amigos. Never mind. Let's go on.
Well, you know what, Matt? It's better that I'm wearing a dress than a pink tutu carrying a broom
You've done that?
or a mop.
Okay, Mr. Toxic Avenger. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was a deep
All right,
pull.
so-
Deep pull.
It was deep.
That's what she said.
Well, it was. You know what? No, I'm gonna pull one. I'm gonna pull one from Yankee
That's what he said.
and just say that it was left to center.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, so tonight I don't really have much to go with tonight. I did get a question from Jose. He brings up a good topic. Basically, he's saying, "What's up, guys? So we all die one day. My question is, what plan do you guys have in place for your guns when you die? What arrangements have you done?" So why don't we go over this, and then Rick has a story about going to the range he wants to share with us, and then we'll just go from there. All right?
Works for me.
All right. We've got, also, if you've got a question or something or a suggestion for topics for the show, please go ahead and send us an email, and we can try and include it. All right. So, Cycle Camp. Do you have anything set up for your guns in case of your untimely demise?
Why do you go to him? Just because he's old?
Oh, left to right, or right to
I'm
left.
going left to right, Matt.
I think you're being ageist. By the way, I think that's just
Triggered. I'm out of here.
Actually,
Is he talking to me?
yeah. Yes, Cycle Camp. I'm talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Rick.
Yeah.
The old one.
I think you and Rick are the same age.
Yeah, probably. But I sound younger.
But no,
Okay,
I'm going left to
yes,
right on my screen.
I actually do have a plan. Now that you ask, I live in Connecticut, and Connecticut is an awful, awful, horrible state to die in. It's even worse than living here, I'm told. And
They tax you when you're dead. Yeah.
yeah, they tax you when you're dead, basically.
Yeah, they tax you.
So I have
everything.
I have a living trust, and basically in the living trust, my daughter. I only have one child, so my daughter gets her choice of any of my guns that she wants, and then the rest of them get turned over to my local marksman's club, and they get to sell them and use the money to support the club.
Okay.
Right on. Damn right.
That's very generous of you.
Yeah.
So, Foos, you got anything in plan?
I'm too pretty to die.
Foos, you know what we said about me not going on camera? Doubly so for you.
Yeah, heaven don't want him, and hell's afraid he'll take over.
Hey, I've seen Foos. He ain't that bad. Come on.
He's got a face only radio can love.
Arkansas is a pretty gun-friendly state, and yeah, I right now I do not have anything. Yeah, I guess it would just go to either my parents or my brother.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
All right.
But that's with all my property.
Well, you might want to think about that. I know you're young. You're only a few years older than me.
I'm just too damn pretty. Sorry, I can't.
I know, but you really should look at doing something. Just saying. No. Anyways, Ghost Tactical. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I actually just did this a few months ago. I did a trust. I have one daughter, very similar to Cycle. I have one daughter, and she actually is kind of into guns a little bit. So my trust has her choice of anything that she wants that's in my arsenal, and whatever it doesn't, it goes to, I listed 3 of my Marine buddies, and they are instructed to do what they want to, sell it off, and donate it to Marine, something that had to do with the Marine Corps. So I want to raise money for the Marine Corps, families and all that, for dependents and all that. So they're instructed to do that. And matter of fact, about 6 or 7 of us have all done it together, to where no matter whenever any of us die, we'll all have the availability to do that. So it's pretty cool.
What if she likes all of your guns?
Then she can have them all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she has right of first refusal for anything and everything. And whatever she doesn't, then she will, the executor of the will then contact the next person on the list.
All right. Awesome. Never enough ammo. Have you set anything up?
Video will. But I'm going to have to change that when I move, because that's not legal in Idaho, but it is in Texas. Yeah, no, I mean, my guns, basically, my kids will have the pick of whatever guns they want. My wife will be the one in charge of them. They're going to automatically go to her unless it's already a gun that I've given. Like, let's say my son's already got a couple that are reserved for him, but they're all, it's basically, you know, it's up to my wife's discretion, but my kids would have whatever guns that they wanted. You know, she's got her guns, and then everything else left that's mine. She can keep the one she wants. She can let the kids have them, whatever. It's very loosely translated at the moment, simply because I know it's just not something my kids or anybody are going to fight over. You know what I mean? They all know, how everything goes, basically.
So they all use them equally as much anyways, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for given their ages and stuff, yeah. I mean, then they all know which ones are already reserved for them and that kind of thing, and they're not going to go fighting over, well, I want this. No, fuck you. No, that's not going to happen. I already know that's not going to happen. So, basically, it's up to my wife's discretion.
Right. All right, Rick. What do you got set up?
I got nothing set up. I would imagine if Rhode Island doesn't take them before I'm put under, I would imagine they go to my oldest son.
You might want to look into that and plan on something.
Yeah. So now that I never really thought about it until you guys brought it up. Because I'm only, in my mind, I'm only about 18.
Right.
You know?
We all are.
And honestly, there's like, for me, there's no one in my family that is even remotely.
You don't have a cousin or an uncle or something that likes guns?
No, it's me.
Let me ask you real quick. I'm gonna run through the room. Does anybody in here live in Florida, Indiana, Kansas, Mississippi, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, Texas, or Vermont? And then sometimes the state of Washington.
I used to live in Missouri.
No, I'm asking just because those are the states that allow you to do like a video will, and all of us in here are very comfortable on video, so it's a very easy way to make a will about different things, about all your stuff, about just a few items, whatever it is. I think at some point video wills are going to start becoming more legal across all 50 states. Right now, it's just a few. But
so if I ever become too ugly to die, I will give all mine to Never Enough.
Yes, but apparently, if Never Enough Ammo puts together a video will, nobody will post it.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because it's not legal in Arkansas.
Watch it. That'll one that gets monetized.
but
It'll go viral. It'll start a new trend of everybody leaving their guns via YouTube.
In all seriousness, though, Rick, especially Rick, just because your family doesn't want to have your guns doesn't mean they won't fight over who gets to sell them and keep the cash.
Yeah.
True.
So it is kind of important.
It is.
It is. I will work on it.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, Travis, what do you have set up?
Yeah. My we have no children, so my best friend and his wife have gotten into shooting recently, and we're going to be either buying or helping them purchase guns for their kids. So what would happen is my Bear Creek AR goes to my stepfather because he has one. He loves it. The AMD 63 goes to my best friend's wife. My buddy gets the AR-15 pistol. My wife gets the SD9, and the two kids get to fight over the two Tauruses. And all this would be transferred through the FFL and shipped down to an FFL down in Texas. I've got that all written down because then everything else that's left over. I've actually talked to Stan at the pawn shop. He would help my wife move those guns out at the market price.
Wait.
Like put them up for sale. And, yeah.
So you have two cousins that would fight for Tauruses. Would they break in that?
Not cousins. This is me and my best friend's kids.
No.
Best friend's kids. So would they break as they're fighting?
No. They're not fighting over the Taurus.
PT92. I don't
They're
think that's
fighting over
going
the sky.
Okay.
It's a Taurus,
over
not a
the
Sky.
sky.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
The Taurus, the sky is gone, guys. No, PT92 and PT111 because they don't have pistols, and we want to get them shooting pistols. And so if something happens, my wife wouldn't need 4 handguns. I mean, she's competent with the SD9 VE.
That implies that just in general, somebody doesn't need 4 handguns?
Oh, not at all. She'll have an entire safe full of stuff. She's got her own. She's got her own stock of guns. Are you kidding me? She's got 5 or 6 down in the gun vault.
It's almost like you were implying somebody didn't need 4 handguns. I mean, I think that's a low. That's on the low end.
I was going to say I have.
They're at least 7 days in the week.
Same.
I know.
Travis,
I understand that.
You got to tell Matt that you got the breadwinner. You got the keeper.
Say what? What the wife or what? What are we talking about?
Yes, the wife.
Mm-hmm.
She likes guns too. She watches Yankee Marshall. I'm not
Yeah,
sure that's
she-
a
she
plus,
Well,
but still.
is that a plus or a negative right there?
I'm not sure on that one, but it's there.
Well, we do have this agreement. I can go buy whatever guns I want, and then I'm not allowed to say anything when she goes to buy purses or shoes. So it was
There you
something
go.
we kind of settled before we got married. It was kind of how it was, you know.
It's okay, Travis. My wife
Yeah,
actually
man.
listens to Yankees podcasts a lot.
I don't know what it is about
No,
it, but like
it's
women
true.
are just drawn to it. I
And
think
this
it's she.
And this is not a
Yeah.
joke, and I won't tell him this because I don't want him to get offended. But she listens to it because it puts her to sleep. When she's tired, I'm not even kidding. When she's tired, she puts on one of his podcasts to go
Well,
to sleep.
Yankee
my
night.
wife does like how we use the money to pet shelters and stuff. And we're an animal family, so she likes that
She
part of
says
it.
she says she can't
yeah,
listen
I
to
don't-
our podcast because they keep her awake because she hears all of us talking. She actually gives a shit about what we say. So she puts on one of Yankees.
Well, maybe he just has
Don't
a very
tell him
soothing
that. I don't want
voice.
to hurt his. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but.
See, my videos put my wife to sleep, but Yankees videos don't. So definitely something's wrong in the marriage. We need to get that figured out. Yeah. Okay. Enough of my
All
problems.
right.
So anyway, that's my plan for the guns.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So my plan is I'm actually in the process of setting up a trust so that in case I die, it'll go to my family or my kids if I have any kids down the road. And, I'm going that route. I don't think I'm going to put all of my guns in the trust, just a couple of them. Just like all the rifles and some of the handguns. Because, I don't know, I'd like to keep a couple, I don't know, with me.
Oh, you want to take a couple with you in the box?
In the
You know,
casket?
I was thinking that, taking a couple with me.
You never
Well,
know.
make sure the church allows concealed carry first before you do that, because you might be denied at the mortician shop, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually putting them all into trust. I'm kidding there.
Guns don't cremate very
Alright.
well, so that's
No,
not
they
going to work
don't.
for me. You know,
they do.
that's not gonna-
They just have to chamber check first.
This
Oh,
is,
right,
this is
right.
true. Maybe throw a couple of rounds in there or something. I don't know, but other than that, just fry my ass when I'm gone.
I said that just so
good.
we'd have a little gun humor there. But yes, yeah, I'm putting everything into trust, and I'm gonna have my family, they can use it for however they want, but I'm gonna have it stipulated in the trust that they cannot sell the guns. The guns cannot be sold. They stay in the trust.
My address is.
Your address
you go.
is 555. Not gonna happen.
Oh, dang.
No,
Ouch.
not even
ouch.
the
That's just
Hungarian
cruel.
with my name on it.
No, you can't have that back. I gave you $500 for that one.
Just the incorrect magazine that you sent with it?
I mean, if I will any of my guns to anybody, it might be to Ellis.
What's happening to the blue dress? You getting buried in it?
God damn it, Rick.
Wait. Do you have
Dude,
anything on
I think
Hillary?
Ellis just had a heart attack right when you said that.
Yeah. But anyways, that's I'm gonna put all of my guns in a trust and have my family do it. Use them and enjoy them and whatnot. And the thing is, I got my dad. My dad wasn't into guns because his grandfather was murdered by some guy who was stalking my grandmother. He was very skittish about it. And then I built an AR-15. I built two of them actually, and I gave him one of them, and he was just like, "This thing's awesome! I love this." But then he wanted me to add stuff on there, and it got very expensive as far as accessories. And I'm like, "You're gonna buy your own accessories." But my dad likes AR-15s. My brother is more of the shotgun type. He likes the shotgun I've got. Matt's got one too, the Steven 67. So that's cool. My family's not afraid of guns. They're just not used to them themselves, because my brother wasn't as fortunate like I was when I was younger to be around our family friends and whatnot that taught me how to use guns. So he wasn't around them, even though we're both from Arizona. Figure that one out. But that's what I'm going to do. And that's it.
Mel the Nut says that it would be cool if he'd be buried with a shoulder holster in his 1911.
Well, we're Americans. We're not Egyptians, so it's not common to be buried with our stuff.
Well, we can start the trend if we want
so-
to.
You know, if I
about
could
this?
get one of those Colt 1911s in all gold, and then if I could get a Beretta 92 M9 in gold, I would totally be buried with that shit.
There you
Okay,
go,
okay.
Kafi.
A left to right. If you could be buried with only one firearm, which of your current firearms would you be buried with?
Taurus PT92.
Block 19.
Take you long.
It's the gun I've had the longest. I've had it for over 10 years.
And $1
My
grand.
Glock Gen 5.
My 1911.
Clutch. Sorry.
Here's what I'm going to do when I die. Since I already know I'm going to be cremated, and I'm going to set this up just for all of you guys out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my wife make some NEA ammo. And so what it is it's going to be a little bit of me thrown into every fucking every round with the powder. So when you're shooting a little me out your gun every time.
And then we all have to desk pop with it, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Only $10 a round. So I gotta pay for my funeral
Got to
somehow.
pay for the funeral. There you go. Perfect.
Right.
Mine will be the CZ75.
Well, Matt, I hope that doesn't happen anytime soon because I'd rather enjoy having conversations with you for years to come.
But don't play. You know you buy a box of that shit.
I won't lie. I am willing, as long as it's affordable, I'm willing to buy a box. Yes.
Hey, I'm planning on going to Night Strike's funeral.
But
And bringing my
what
shovel.
caliber? What caliber would you be?
Oh man, I think I'd go 45.
Oh, yes.
I just heard the angels sing. Hallelujah.
I almost thought you'd say 45-70 because that's what you're going to be reloading first.
This is true. I don't know. Maybe I'll make an assortment. It's just got to be a little sprinkle in each casing. I mean, you can go for a while.
As
you have
Mr.
to
Knives
be in
says,
12
just the
gauges.
tip.
There you go.
You have to be in 12 gauges because you Mossberg 88s.
See, there you go. But see, I'm also thinking the little bone chunks that don't quite burn all the way. I can use those to reload some 12 gauge. So instead of pellets, you got little bone fragments.
Double hot Matt.
You should have a bone tomahawk made. That's what you should do.
Damn.
Double lot, Matt. That's great.
I'm liking this. This is a good idea. I might be able to get my funeral paid for. My family won't have to worry about it.
That is a great name for an ammunition company.
Never enough ammo.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah.
Matt, we may have to license your likeness and name and use that for an ammunition company.
There you go.
We might be able to make millions.
Yeah, you know what? I hear
royalties after we die.
I hear there are a ton of ammo companies up in Idaho. By the way, I'm gonna have to.
I hear that. Maybe we could, get some branding or something.
Yeah,
They
gotta
get a
figure this out.
franchise going.
Nice. Yeah. Now, if I only knew when I was going
to the DN ammo. They put a little bit of you in every round so that you go out with a bang. Yeah.
Limited edition.
Oh,
Biodegradable.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, literally. Yep.
Environmentally friendly.
And the thing is, they actually used to do this.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, didn't they do that to Walt Disney?
I don't think they put
No,
him in
no. No, they cryogenically froze him, didn't they?
just his head.
Just
Yeah,
the head.
I can see the ad. The commercials that they run on the outdoor channel because it's the only channel that'll run ammo commercials. It's like when you hear that bump in the night, put a little Matt in them.
No. For those guys that are coming, put the welcome mat out.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. All right, so Rick,
Yes.
you had a sticky situation at the range today. What happened? Or was it this weekend?
I happened today, actually.
Today, okay.
Oh, yeah. I was shooting my 45, using my reloads, and I didn't feel or hear anything different. But then it wouldn't feed the next one. So I done the normal, slam the magazine, rack the slide, to clear the jam, and it didn't clear. And I couldn't figure it out. I kept racking the thing and everything else. I finally took the gun apart, and there's a damn bullet stuck down the barrel.
Holy cow!
So it sounded like you had a. This happens to me on occasion. Powder. Primer, no powder. So the primer was enough to push a bullet into the throat of it, but not enough to cycle it or anything like that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And when the next one went through, it pushed it up a little bit more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whenever you went to chamber it, and it wouldn't close all the way.
Yes.
So a lot of people think that, you get no powder and only primer, that it'll go far enough that you'll put another round behind it. Normally, no. It's if you just have a powder, primer only in there, it'll move the bullet enough and get lodged. It doesn't have far enough to leave the throat of the chamber so nothing else can get down it. It's whenever you have a half charge or a third of a charge or something like that becomes dangerous.
Okay.
Or double or triple charge.
Well,
Okay.
So the more power you have in it, the more danger it is going down the throat. Is that? Am I?
Oh boy.
Well, you have
There we
enough.
go.
You have to have enough power
Yeah,
Power
you get that
into
power.
to clear the throat.
Yeah, you got to really get down in that throat. You
Yes.
got to really. You got to have some powder.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. You gotta have
all
some
right.
powder behind it.
you get deep.
A little bit of powder behind your shot.
Seriousness aside, seriousness. No, not aside, but hilarity aside.
All seriousness inside.
Yeah, okay, right there.
Exactly.
In all seriousness,
That's where you got to get serious.
Yeah, of
Rick.
course.
did you clear the barrel at the range, or did you do that at home?
I tried to clear it at the
You always
range.
do it at home before you go to the range, just once, just to.
Okay.
I couldn't find. I
It all
didn't.
depends on the
have any with
range.
me to, I tried to dislodge it, and what I had wouldn't budge it, and I didn't want to.
A lot of people have that problem.
I was afraid I would damage the barrel,
Okay.
so I was going to take it to a gunsmith. But then I thought, well, wait till I get home, and I don't know if this is what you need to do or not, but I put oil on both ends, let it sit there for a couple hours, then got a thing and stuck it inside and tapped it, and it fell right out.
Yeah. So I keep a brass rod in my range bag all the time for whenever stuff gets stuck in my throat. And yes, I said that on purpose.
Well, Foos, all I have to say is you like a good ramrod every now and then.
Side effects include a lodge.
Don't ever say that when I'm trying to take a drink. Dear God, you almost killed me. You almost got that any ammo pretty damn quick. Oh, shit.
In rare cases, people choke on their own load and die. Oh, I'm sorry.
But okay, let's settle down. All right. All right, guys.
These are some weird tasting brownies.
And this show is got way down.
It's a good thing the show is called Hit or Miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. All right. Anyways, here's the thing: if you have a firearm, and if you go to a range, well, you don't have to be at a range. Even if you're doing this in your backyard, if you live out in the country, regardless, you should always bring some tools with you. In case you have a situation like this where you get a squib load. Sometimes it's easy. I've heard some people go and say you need to use a wooden dowel to get squib loads out. And here's the thing. I know some people do that. Most of the time it works for them. It's great. But I would not recommend doing that because the problem with using wood is if you tap that wood too hard, and refrain from making a joke, please. I'm trying to make it.
You said what?
I'm waiting to come around on the tool part of that. So you
All right.
know it.
Tap the tool.
If you tap it too hard, it could splinter and break.
Oh, yes, it could splinter and break. That's why some people prefer to have harder tools than others.
Well, it's a good thing you're always at full mast, Foos.
This is too good.
And remember,
my
pull
brass
back and
rod
lock that
always
or
stays
see a
Yeah,
physician.
But-
I guess if your tool's not stiff enough, you just got to go with a stiffer tool. Maybe you have a friend that has one.
And
All right.
the throat, you need a bigger rod as well.
In all seriousness, yes. No matter what type of firearm you're using, you have to have a brass rod to tap out maybe a case that's gotten stuck or a squib load. So make sure to put that in the set of tools that you have to bring with you to the range in case something happens to one of your firearms. To always bring a brass rod. All right.
Well said. All right.
All right. You may continue laughing.
I'm trying to stop.
You said rod.
So now do you use the brass in the throat, or do you go to the back and use the brass in the?
Well,
I'm not really sure how that's going to work.
I go from the exit end up to the throat.
This is as bad as that Gem song.
So
thing.
you go through the rear.
I'm just glad this show is called Hit or Miss. So we're good. We're good.
You have to go from the throat because if you went from the back, you would shove it up even more.
I go from the end to the chamber, the muzzle to the chamber, because you have less of the barrel and inner workings of the rifling to deal with.
Oh, everybody's got to be real careful about what they say now.
Back to my story. I cleaned the barrel and there was no scratches or anything in it, so I think I'm good to go.
So Mr. Knives just says, just tap it in, tap, tap, tap.
Tap it in.
And I don't have my brass rod does not have a name.
Mine doesn't either.
Purple-headed yogurt slinger.
Matt, your other rod.
Oh, sorry.
The hard rod.
Pedro.
Really, Pedro? I thought it was Jose. or Paco. All right. So I have a political topic I want to discuss. I know politics is normally a Wednesday night type of thing with you, Matt, but
by all means, please.
You're already drinking already, so it doesn't matter.
I just don't care. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this happened, I think, over the weekend, and I want to get your guys' take on this. We all know who Sheriff Joe Arpaio is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Yeah. He's the former Maricopa
Arizona
County
sheriff.
Arizona Maricopa
Okay.
County sheriff that had implemented, that had enforced the Arizona law that people got all tizzy about because, hey, let's get rid of these illegal people that are here illegally. Oh my God, Border Patrol's not doing that. Let's do that. And they got in trouble for it because of flaming liberals like Yankees. So.
That's not exactly why he got in trouble for it.
Well, now didn't he get in trouble for essentially creating concentration camps for like illegals?
It was because he took the strategy of round them all up and sort them out later.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, and
yes,
that's
there is.
I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying it wasn't because he was enforcing the law, which was good. But he was doing what the equivalent of profiling, just grabbing anybody.
And he was keeping them like locked up. He wasn't like he was taking people that were accused of being illegal and then, handing them over to ICE. He was holding them in these were they actual camps or these little temporary setups or whatever?
No, he was probably holding them in the prison that they hold the.
Well, wherever they were, I don't know. But he was confining them. He was holding them. He wasn't handing them over to ICE. Now, from his side of the story, it's like, well, if I gave them to ICE, they just release them. They didn't care.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm not making judgments on the guy because there's a problem that needs to be solved. So there's no judgments about the guy's tactics or anything. I mean,
right, but
it's not what I would do. It's not what I would do, and I can understand why he got in trouble for it. He did something wrong. There's no doubt about that. Does that mean that, you know, it's not that something doesn't need to be done and maybe somebody needed to step over the line? I don't know. I'll leave that up to everybody else.
Does he deserve to go to jail for doing something?
He would not have gone to jail. He wasn't going to go to jail. He would have been on probation or some shit. I mean, he was not going to go to jail. But I mean, if it would have been it would have been weird for them to put him in jail. But anyway, but there's two sides to this. There's whether or not somebody who did what he did should be pardoned, and whether or not you agree with what he did. And then there's the other side of it of how do we feel about Trump pardoning him? I don't give two shits that Trump pardoned him. Presidents pardon people for doing shit
much
100 times worse than this all the fucking time for their friends and their buddies and this and that. And Trump did it.
Obama.
But Trump actually did this for a valid reason. The reason being that his constituents, the people who voted for Trump, wanted Joe Arpaio to be free. Okay, he actually did this because it's what the people wanted. He didn't do it because it was a buddy or somebody paid him or it was somebody with political power. This is something that the people who voted for Trump wanted Trump to do, and he did it. That's the best fucking reason for a president to pardon somebody, right there. His constituents actually wanted this to happen. The people who voted wanted it to happen. So,
Matt, hold up. Joe Arpaio actually campaigned for Trump in Arizona during the elections.
Of people campaigned in every state for Trump. That doesn't mean shit.
Well, hold on. He also supported Trump, and he hadn't supported a president since like Reagan.
That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the fact that
I just figured I'd mention
something. Well, a lot of people. I'm just saying, it's all irrelevant because Trump's constituents wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
If Trump's constituents hadn't wanted this to happen, it wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely.
And so that, in my mind, is the best reason for him or any president to pardon anybody, because his constituents wanted it to happen. So he used his executive authority, which he legally has, to make it happen. Nothing wrong with that scenario whatsoever. Other presidents have done it for much less honorable reasons. So everybody needs to shut the fuck up about that. The side that I'm iffy on is whether or not what he did, you know what I mean? A lot of people are acting like, oh, well, it was no big deal. No, it kind of was. You know what I mean? I get it. We have a problem, but imprisoning people who were not supposed to be imprisoned. You know what I mean? Holding people.
He probably could have found a better way.
It rides a bad line, man. And as somebody who ultimately gives a shit about freedom and shit, you know what I mean? I kind of have a problem with it. You know what I mean? I kind of have a problem. It sucks to say that because I live on the border. I know there's a fucking problem, but that's not how you handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like when they were doing stop and frisk in New York, and it drastically reduced the crime rates. But God damn it, it was a violation of their civil rights.
Yep, absolutely. So it's I don't know. There's two sides of it. So I guess it depends on which side you want to get upset over. And you know, I mean, you're from Arizona. I live in a border town. We know how it goes. It's not just, you don't have to live in a border town to know how bad it is, but it helps give you some perspective. So there's a big problem, and you have people like him who are trying to do everything they can to help fix the problem that the federal government won't do. So it is riding a line where you're like, well, shit, I understand he felt like this was stuff he had to do, but at a certain point, you know, you don't just start rounding people up without discretion and waiting to sort shit out while you hold these people. You know, there's still people, and there's still processes and laws and procedures in place, even if half of it's bullshit. You know, so I mean, he did something illegal. You know, he deserved to get convicted of doing something illegal because he did something illegal, and something that I don't necessarily agree with how he handled the situation. But
he wasn't trying to do something illegal. He was just trying to enforce the law because the federal government won't.
The federal government wouldn't do it. The federal government wouldn't do it.
But rounding everyone up and putting them, whether they are, sorry to say, illegal or citizens, it's still not
It's
still
not
it's still illegal. You know, I mean,
Right. The ends do not justify the means.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, whether or not, let's say they did, you know, capture an illegal immigrant and put him into one of these camps, that's still, it's still you're still invading their rights as a human being, just to do it without due process.
okay.
You know,
Well,
is it even local law enforcement's jurisdiction to detain?
No, it's not.
It's supposed to. That's. I mean, because here the big
Well,
thing is
wait a
here,
minute,
local
wait a
law
minute,
enforcement
wait a
doesn't want
minute.
to enforce ICE law,
Well,
ICE law, because it's not their deal. They will if they have to arrest somebody.
I
They
believe
are supposed to hold and notify.
Yeah, they're supposed to
Yes, it is
contact
within their
ICE.
jurisdiction.
They're
Yeah.
supposed to contact ICE and but then again, there was the problem, right? ICE was not responding to him.
Say they.
He was
okay.
going above and beyond, and he was just hauling in everybody he could. And this went on for years. It's not like this was something new. It built to this point because for years and years and years, he would catch people and they're illegal, and he'd contact ICE or drop them off at ICE, and ICE wouldn't do anything, or ICE would immediately let him go, or whatever the situation was. And it got to the point after years of doing this that he's like, well, fine, I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him till y'all decide to do your job. Well, that sounds good, except it's illegal, and he wasn't supposed to do that. That's the problem. So, I mean, I get it, man. People are pissed off. They're frustrated. This is a problem. It is a problem, and we need to find a solution for it. Did he do the right thing? No. Do I understand why people were glad he was doing it? Yeah, but it still wasn't the right thing. So it's kind of a tough call, but I'm glad he got pardoned. I'm glad he got pardoned because this is one of those situations. It's just like with Snowden, right?
Exactly.
What Snowden did was illegal. Period. It was illegal. Did he do it with good intentions? And did he bring to light some things that helped the American people? Yes, he did. I think the appropriate thing to do for Snowden would be to convict him and then pardon him. I think that is what you do in a situation like this where laws have clearly been broken, things were done incorrectly, but they were done with good intentions for the good of the country. This is one of those situations where executive power, it was handled properly. Trump should have pardoned him. He made some mistakes, but he was trying to address a problem that the federal government was ignoring. And so, yeah, pardon him. He got convicted. That's always going to be on his record, whatever. That's going to be a thing. He's never going to be a sheriff again. He's suffered those consequences. But, yes, Trump should pardon him from any punishment for this. I'm glad with the end result of this. And I think the same thing should happen to Snowden. Trump should fucking pardon Snowden. He should pardon him and say, here's the deal. You come back, you go to court for this, you're going to get convicted, and then I'm going to pardon you. Justice needs to be done, but I understand why you did what you did. That's what should happen.
But the thing is it would have to be in writing or something, because just to go off someone's word, how long is, let's say he does come back and it takes him, years to get through all the judicial. The president may be out of office by then.
No, it doesn't need to be right. He needs to preemptively pardon him. But yes, under the stipulation that he comes back and he faces the charges, that we find out the truth in a court of law. If he gets convicted, he gets convicted. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Whatever. Regardless, it doesn't matter. In the end, he's still pardoned. That's set up beforehand. You get a pardon for this, but you have to go to. This has to go before the people. We have to know what happened. It has to be public. You want to be a hero. You want to be the guy that told the truth. That's great. But be honorable and deal with the consequences. And if you do that, I am telling you right now, you will be pardoned. Here's the paperwork. It's already done. You've been pre-pardoned. You know what I mean? Whatever the process. I'm not a lawyer.
I have an issue with the whole pre-pardon thing, because if it's going to be pre-pardon, will you be able to find a jury that would give two shits because, it's he's going to be pardoned anyway, so why are we even here?
I don't think you make it public though.
Well, yeah, that's true. But then
there are ways to handle it. It should be done. There are people,
until they're convicted.
Yeah, there are people much smarter than us who could figure out a way to make this work. You know what I mean?
Is it totally illegal?
No,
to pre-pardon someone.
No, I mean the president. No, the presidential pardon can be for anything. You could literally like just here's a presidential pardon, and if you ever get convicted of something, pull it out of your back pocket.
I want to comment on. I want to take a step back and comment on what I'm hearing some of the news and the media say, and I know we shouldn't bother what they say. We shouldn't pay attention to it, but I do want to mention this. What they had to say about Arpaio. A lot. If you haven't heard, a lot of them are saying that Trump did not have the authority to do that. That he, some of them are even saying that he's using the pardoning system in the wrong way.
Bullshit.
You know,
Did they not see Obama's last day in office?
Yeah, and that's another thing. Did you see Obama's last day in office? Did you look at who he pardoned? He pardoned murderers, for God's sake. Murderers, drug dealers. These are the kind of people you want to stay in jail, not go back to the streets selling to children and killing children. So, but but a lot of them have said, a lot of these leftist nut jobs on TV have said that he didn't have the power or the authority to pardon Arpaio at that point in time.
That's
and I don't know if they've noticed, but it's in the Constitution, by the way, on pardoning thing. They have read it, haven't they?
No, they haven't. That's the whole thing. They haven't. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they talk about the Constitution. They don't know. They don't have a clue. They're a bunch of idiots. That's kind of the point.
Clearly.
And when he says they, he means you people.
You people.
You people. There we go. Yes, you people.
Neutron Clay, great comment. What if Snowden gets pre-pardon depression?
Oh, well, then he'll have to go to pre-pardon counseling.
That was funny. Every time Trump has used the power of the office, the left has said, "Oh no, you really don't have the power to do that," and they're full of shit.
No, but it was okay when Obama did it.
They did the same thing when he fired guys in his own cabinet that he appointed in the first place. Oh no, you can't do that. That's treason. No, it's not. You may not like it, but it ain't treason.
No, it's not. So, all right. Well, we've gone over this. Does anybody else have anything to talk about? I really have kind of run out of things to talk about.
Brass rods going down the throat again, or
no?
Let's talk about the Glock Gen 5.
So a Gen 4 with one less pin and no finger grooves.
There
You know,
you
the
go.
ironic thing about this Night Strike is
It's got a slightly modified trigger. It's got a flare magazine well at the bottom. I mean, there's a lot of changes they did to it.
Well, if you do enough reloads, you will automatically get that flared magwell.
Yeah.
If you practice it.
It's got a rounded front on it.
is anybody
But it seemed like they were really significant.
genuinely? I want to know, like for real, is anybody in here genuinely excited about this? Does anybody genuinely even really care?
not even close.
The question I'm asking is it even worth looking into getting one? I'd probably wait a while.
The only thing I'm thinking, the only thing I'm wondering right now is because they've consistently with like your Glock 19s, your 17s, your 22s and 23s. I know those 4 models and probably a few others. I don't know, but at least those 4 models. They were still actively making Gen 3s that you could still buy new.
Yeah.
Okay. My only question is, are they still making those? If not, if now that we've gone to Gen 5 and we still got the Gen 4s, they're just going to say, you know what, we're done with the Gen 3s, even just a couple of models we were still making. Maybe now's the time to jump on some Gen 3s because that was the pinnacle of Glock. Okay. Those were the best Glocks. That's where they hit their peak. Right. So maybe if you're looking for a good deal, maybe go buy those now before they stop making them. That's the only thing about Gen 5s coming out that I give 2 shits about maybe go grab up those last few new, like genuinely new, factory new Gen 3s that are still floating around out there.
I got a question when you get done.
I will put a Gen 5 Glock right next to all my other Glocks at the gun store. I don't own a Glock, and I'm going to keep it that way.
It's just,
man, I'm looking online right now. You can get Gen 3s are still being. I mean, you can still buy them new, like at GunGenie.com. I'm looking at them for
Absolutely.
$550.
I just
out the
picked
door
up
with
another
tax,
one.
you
I
know?
just picked up another one a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but
You know
at
what I
some
mean?
point they're going to stop making them.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Whether it's because they just don't want to deal with the polymer molding process or whatever, but at some point they're going to stop making them. I think, I don't know if anybody else in here, I like Glocks. They're not my favorite, but they're great utilitarian type of firearms. And I think the Gen 3 was the pinnacle of that. They've proven time and time again, and now with the Gen 5s, they've proven yet again they don't really care about innovation. They don't really care about improving the design. They just care just barely enough that if people bitch for 5 years about one thing like swappable back straps, okay, it's been 5 years, we'll get rid of the back straps. If you bitch for 15 years about finger grooves, eventually they'll do away with finger grooves. Like, they care just enough to keep cops and most of us out there buying their guns when we just want a utility gun that we can beat the shit out of. Like, that's as much as they actually care about innovation. Whereas, your Smith & Wessons and your SIGs and CZs and even Taurus, like, these companies actually give a shit about innovating the market and coming up with new shit, So, I mean,
I don't.
Well, Glock's answer to innovation is just come up with a different model altogether. They're not going to fix the current ones.
But that looks just like all the other models. It's just
absolutely. It's just a little different.
It's
It's a quarter of an inch longer.
Quarter barrel or something ridiculous, or it's in this caliber now, like 357 SIG, because everybody's running around shooting 357 SIG. So no, I mean, Glock is not an innovative company. They're just not.
Hey, I like 357 SIG.
If they want to make an innovative gun, they need to figure out how to make a Glock in a 4570.
See, I'm down with that. If they can do that somehow without breaking the gun every time it fires, that's some innovation.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Glock's in a position where they don't have to be the biggest innovator because they're still the big dog on the block for the most part. I
know. That's exactly the point.
And they have.
But what they fail to realize, I think they know this, and so that's why they just occasionally come along and do different texturing or you can swap the back strap out, or here's a new caliber and new size, or finally we got rid of the finger grooves, whatever. I think the reason that they do that is to try and keep up with innovation, because they've got to know at some point, okay, like with all things in life and in business, eventually they will not be the big dog. It's going to happen. At some point, it's going to happen. It may be in 5 years, 10 years, or 50 years. I don't know. So, who knows? Somebody's going to come out with a fucking Star Trek phaser at some point, and nobody's going to be using bullets anymore. I don't know. But at some point, Glock is no longer the big dog. And most companies
lose their ass.
Most companies know this, and so they're always trying to innovate in some way or another. Most of your major companies, obviously not like High Point or anything. They don't give a fuck, right? They're making Saturday Night Specials. But your big dogs, your Rugers and your SIGs and your CZs and Smith & Wesson and whoever else, they're trying to innovate. They're trying to come up with new designs and multiple, designs for pistols. You know what I mean? Like, Smith & Wesson
doesn't just the same damn design.
Yeah, Smith & Wesson doesn't just have one kind of gun that they sell, and they just happen to tweak it for different calibers or different sizes. That's what Glock does. Literally, Glock only sells one gun. Yeah, they only sell.
So do you think
fucking gun?
So do you think Glock is going to be like, okay, we saddled this horse, we're going to ride it, and whenever it dies, we're just going to fold? Because
maybe
they have nothing else to go on.
I don't think Glock innovates until Gaston Glock finally dies.
Do you think they'll innovate after that?
They might, because we saw what happened when Bill Ruger died. When he finally left, Ruger started actually innovating, and I think there's a decent chance that happens with Glock. I hope it does. I don't dislike Glocks. I'm not a Glock tard. I can definitely understand why people don't like Glocks. There was a long period of time where I didn't like fucking plastic Glocks, but I appreciate their utilitarian design and that they are good, right? Tough guns, but. So I would love to see Glock become innovative and make cool stuff that isn't just literally the same. Every gun they make is the same gun. Just because just because they make it in a different size or a different caliber, it's the same gun. You know, so they make one gun. That's all they do, and they tailor it to, well, do you want this one for concealed carry or full size, and what caliber do you want it in? Like, that's all they fucking do. You know, no other gun company does that and gets away with it, you know? So I want to see them innovate because I don't dislike them as a company, you know, but you got to understand what they are.
So
Well, I don't know.
love
I
it.
mean-
I just
You're breaking up, Ghost.
Whoa.
Domo
He's
arigato,
genuinely-
Mr.
You know what?
Roboto.
If
He
on
sounds
TV,
like a ghost.
John, right now.
What's that? Did you
What's
hear
that,
that?
robot?
What?
What's that?
Hey, I think I heard a ghost.
No, that was robot.
Can I ask my question now?
Yes.
I
sorry.
almost heard danger. Will Robinson.
No, let Rick talk. Let Rick.
Where can I get my hard brass rod?
I got mine off Amazon.
I got mine from
Wait. Did you just say you got your hard brass rod off?
Off of
Did
Amazon,
you get your hard
yes.
drive on?
Off on Amazon, apparently.
Whoa.
You can buy brass rods at the where
At the
they
local
sell
Gigolo store.
where they sell welding metal at like Ace Hardware or Lowe's. They have brass rods, so you know,
Okay.
go look there.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you have an Ace Hardware or Lowe's around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just got mine online.
Mm.
So
Well, I can certainly understand Glock's fear of innovation. I mean, you know, when you have these guns companies that innovate, and the next thing you know, they come out with a gun that when you throw it on the ground, it can provide cover fire while you're running away.
Right.
It's you know, and then you've got Ruger who comes out
hey,
with
it's innovative though.
the great innovation. We're going to make that gun break apart real easy, and every single one of them had to be recalled.
It's innovative.
You know that's kind of scary.
No, but it's not scary though. See, that's the thing. That is, I mean, this happens with everything. This happens with cars. You know, this happens with computers. This happens with everything. When companies try new things and innovate, you have those. I'm not paying you shit, but you have shit that gets hit or miss, right? Like
It's a nice
Galaxy-
9 o'clock.
Galaxy 7, right?
You have exactly. You have no. It was the 6, but
6, sorry.
it was the 6, and then the Galaxy Note. Was it the 3 or the 4? Whichever one was blowing up. Anyway,
Galaxy 7 with the battery, right?
no, that wasn't
what
the
I
Galaxy,
thought,
it was
yeah.
the Note.
Was it the Note?
It was
Yeah.
the Note, yeah, not the Galaxy. Anyway, doesn't matter, whatever. But you have these companies try new stuff, and the majority of the time it works. But then you do have these things where, oh shit, it blows up, or you drop it in this exact way. There's a problem, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Glock just goes, we're not going to try anything new. So that's not exactly like a good thing. I don't have a problem with companies who, screw up and then all of a sudden they, oh, well, we're going to fix it. We tried something new. We're going to fix the problems with it. The whole SIG thing is that's kind of wonky, or, I mean, there's a whole lot to that. That's a big involved issue with, them completely changing the design of the SIG P250 to be something it shouldn't have been. But whatever, that's a whole thing.
Remington R9.
Yeah, that's another one. That's
Or
another one.
Remington
We
51.
could just keep naming them. I mean, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
But those are from companies that actually try. You look at what SIG has done. Look at the amazing things SIG has done. The different guns they've come out with, all the different models they have, their track record over decades. You look at that,
Over a
and
century.
that's awesome. And they've got one screw up, and it is a screw up without a doubt. No, nobody's arguing that they screwed up and they need to fix it, and they're presumably going to fix it. But it's because they tried something new. And Glock just goes, we're not going to try anything new, so we're just going to be the safe ones. And that works for a while.
So there's something, a saying we have at work. The people that are working screw up. The ones that aren't. So
Yep.
I look at Glock as they're not working. They're not innovating. Now they may this is what they're bringing to market. They may have an R&D and have another 8 or 9 lines of guns that we don't know about. So
yeah.
Hey, G-Webs, you want in on this? He's saying this is a joke, no links to the truth or anything like that.
Wait, what?
Well,
G-Webs.
I'm going to take the Yankee stance. I'm not going to give links. If you want research, do it yourself.
He said no. G-Web says no free speech here.
Well, okay. And now that's a good point. Now, in the spirit of total transparency, let's go through the room. How many people own or have owned a Glock?
Well, I own several right now and have owned others, and I'm not knocking them at all. I like Glocks, but they're not willing to take certain chances other companies will. Is that a bad thing? Well, no, it's worked very well for them. But I can still criticize it and say I would love for them to do some new shit and not just to keep making the same thing over and over and over again. Otherwise, why not just stop with Gen 3? You know, I can criticize them as somebody who actually likes them. I think it's fair to criticize when you say, I mean, you know,
that's exactly my point. I think we're going to find most of the people on the panel have owned them or own them currently.
I've shot one just a few times.
Now, see, now you stopped on Ghost.
Go ahead.
Got him roboting again. Ghost, try it again.
Try again, Ghost.
You know.
No.
What?
Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is my favorite gun is the Glock 19.
Okay.
and
Keep going.
So you own
throw this, and absolutely. They don't have to. Now they should. They absolutely. Process is we're the big dog. Why change a business plan that's absolutely working? I'm not defending them. I'm just saying that's probably what's going on. Why should we change? We're the big dog.
You do make a good. I think he makes a good point because you could restate the question as we don't want to innovate as we don't have to innovate.
I'm saying it's not that they don't have the capabilities. It's why should they?
Well, of course they have the capabilities. It's just, you know, there's no reason for them to right now. And that's, I mean, the question, the conversation started off with what does everybody think of the Gen 5? And it's kind of like, yeah, it's basically the same. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not to knock them like, oh, well, screw them for not changing enough stuff on it. It's just what's there really to get excited about? You know what I mean? Like, that's where this kind of conversation started. It's not to knock them. We all own Glocks. Most of us in here like Glocks a lot. I really like my Glocks.
Now,
I said most. I said most, not all.
All right.
Now, let's say you had a Glock and you shoot them well and all that stuff, but you don't like the finger grooves. You know, you may go from a Glock, or you may buy it and knock those off yourself. But if
or maybe that's why, and maybe you go, you know what, Glock comes out with the Gen 5 no finger grooves, awesome, and it works great for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's just nothing new, sir.
And that's cool. It's just you know, again, it's not to knock Glock, but they don't have to at the moment, and they don't feel the need to, and they don't want to make a lot of changes. So again, where the question started is, you know, what's to get excited with Glock Gen 5? Well, not really anything. They're still good guns.
Yeah.
You know, there's still, if you want a new Glock, go buy Gen 5. It's going to be a great fucking gun for you. But it's not like it's this new ground-breaking, innovative fucking this. Oh my God, the Gen 5s are here. Oh, okay. They look.
You know, there's also a lot to be said about. I mean, if you want to customize the feel, the looks, and all that, aftermarket parts that you can get anywhere. You can go get a different trigger assembly. You can go, and I think that's where also the 1911s have become so popular is for the person that wants to really customize a gun, you can get anything customizable on a 1911 that you could possibly want. And
It's true.
I think popular is you can think that the aftermarket parts are offering that
Yeah, you got to do something with your machine, man. You're really roboting
You're
bad.
roboting bad.
So the my
So,
cell phone. So I'm sorry.
all right. But what he's saying is you can definitely modify your 1911 more so than you can your Glock.
Well,
I
I'm saying
don't
like
know.
with the Glocks.
I really don't know because there's so many damn parts out there for Glock. Can you modify a 1911 more than a Glock?
Okay, let me ask you this:
I wanna say no.
Can you get custom grips for Glock?
Yes, stippling however you want.
Okay, without ruining the frame.
Let's just say you can do just as much to a Glock as a 1911 and vice versa. Okay, there's no reason to have that. That's a stupid debate. I can customize a Glock more than a 1911. No, I can customize my 19. Shut the fuck up. Nobody gets it. Just sit down and calm down.
That's that peanut butter and chocolate thing.
Just calm down. They are two widely used firearms. 1911's been around for a long time, and in the last 3 decades, the Glock's been just permeating the market. They both have ass tons of accessories. Why fight over it? It doesn't matter. You can do whatever the hell you want to either one of those guns. Walk away.
Yep. And they can do as much as they want to that gun, and until they change the grip angle, I will not carry mine.
That's a good point. That's a big one that a lot of people don't like.
I don't shoot it well because my index is weird on it. It just feels weird in my hand.
Yep.
Now, if I concentrate on sight picture and trigger pull, yeah, they shoot fine. It's just I don't like the grip angle. I don't like how it feels in my hand, and it's not just Glock. There are other guns out there that I don't like the feel in my hand. And ever since now, I have a 1911 upstairs SIG. I don't like it, but
okay. So let me give you my address and or my FFL's address so we can get this figured out here real quick.
it's even a Max Michel edition.
Okay, well, I'll get you that. It's South Texas Tactical in Brownsville, Texas. Let's get this figured out.
All right, and Matt, I'm going to steal this from you. On that note,
All right. Well, that's an old school one. I don't use that one anymore because Stone Guy's not around to offend anybody anymore.
Chocolate.
That's right. They make chocolate 1911s. How come they don't make
And
chocolate
Glocks.
Glock?
No, they do make chocolate Glocks.
Oh, I've never seen one at Cabela's at Christmas time.
I've seen them.
well, that's because the chocolate 1911s are more popular.
Well, the chocolate Glocks help you get the rot out of your throat. I heard.
Oh.
All right. So I'm going to thank my panelists for showing up and completely ruining Hit or Miss tonight. No,
I think we made it pretty freaking good.
We made this show awesome.
it was all right.
You usually don't have nearly enough dick jokes in this show. And tonight we brought it up to 100%.
I could do without
a month worth of them.
I could do without the jokes.
By the way, where the fuck were you last night?
Technical difficulties.
Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. You should have been there. It was the Game of Thrones season finale chat. We talked for over an hour about Game of Thrones, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you were supposed to be there.
I didn't watch the finale yet.
I listened.
Are you watching me? What the fuck is what the? Oh,
Go fuck yourself,
out there right now. Everybody out there right now, just disregard everything Night Strike ever says.
No. I'm watching.
He bears no credibility.
I'm
on
gonna
it.
watch
watch it.
after
Don't even
tonight.
feel good.
After after we get done with Hit or Miss, I'm gonna go watch the fucking finale.
Oh my
I have a whole
god!
bunch of TV shows I have to go and catch up on right now.
So do we want to ruin it for him real quick?
I don't want to get copyrighted.
Copywritten.
Copywritten. So, anyways, thank you. Thank you those out there on YouTube for showing up. Thank you on the Gun Channel side for commenting, even though G-Webs is going after us for the Glock chat. Remember G-Webs is very pro Glock apparently.
Very.
We all said they're good guns.
Yeah, they are good.
He's starting a new channel called Glocks and Vans. So
yeah, as opposed to his old one, cop cars and Glocks. So, Thank you everyone for watching. This was Hit or Miss.